Hello, welcome back to my channel. We have a RM125 1998. This bike is our special factory racing bike from back in 1998. I'm not going to say whose name it is because I cannot clarify that it is his old GP bike. It's 50-50. I've tried contacting him and I can't. I've got no way of telling that it is actually his. So I'm not going to say that it's his because it might not be. We've got no paperwork to prove that it's his, so we can find some more information on it, which I'm still working on. Once I clarify that, I will say whose MX1 bike it was. Anyway, it's just rough on the edges. The engine had a rebuild about 2 years ago, but this bike hasn't been ridden for 2 years. The suspension was off it, subframe was off it, seat was off it. Hadn't been started since the rebuild. So I literally just put it back together, cleaned the carb out. I wanted to make sure that all the gears and everything was working right. The clutch needs doing in it, so we'll replace the clutch in it. I'll put a microscope down the cylinder bore and double check that it has actually been rebuilt. I'm a big fan of not taking things apart for the sake of taking them apart. If it's running, why go to the work? It's holding the water, it's staying cool, so we're going to leave the engine, but I'm going to still do what I usually do, blast the engine and stuff like that. I've never blasted an engine complete because of all the holes and everything. It's very hard to seal something to blast it, because when you're blasting at pressure, even if it's a very little amount of pressure, it's very hard not to get the grit inside of what you're blasting. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to do the best job I can do to seal it, and then I'm going to blast it, and then I'm going to have a very thorough look to make sure there is no grit that's got inside. If there has grit got inside, I will end up splitting the engine then to clean it out, because you can clearly see from my last videos how good of a job I do restoring the engines and making them look beautiful again. I think it's a very big part of cleaning the engine cases and stuff like that. Like, yes, you can strip a bike down and powder coat the frame and put new plastics on it, but I think the main part is the engine. You know, it's that one key element of attention to detail. So I think it's very important to get all that cleaned up. We're going to give it a new set of plastics, new rims, keep the hubs, new spokes, discs, and then the customer wants the whole bike fully loaded with titanium all on it. The peg mounts are pretty good, so I'm going to have a look for a nice aftermarket peg for there. I'll have a look for some titanium pegs, but I'm pretty sure there is no titanium pegs on the market for an RM 1998. I know there's a lot of nice billet aluminium ones on the market, so I'll probably end up getting a set of them. And then all the usual service stuff, gear lever, rear brake pedal, and yeah, we'll polish the swinging arm like I usually do on my rebuilds, new handlebars. We've got a nice set of radiators on here, but I'll double check them and take them off and make sure they're all straight and that. It's got a classic depth sport header pipe on this, so we want to try and keep that. So I'll blast that and clean it all up nice. A couple of the engine cases, I'm going to blast the engine and see how the cases come out. I might put some Boyson factory covers on there for the ignition and clutch side. Restore the calipers, put some Orbals rebuild kit, do the pistons and seals and that. New brake hoses, powder coat the frame, polish the subframe, and that's pretty much about it. So the suspension's already been rebuilt, So I'm not going to go to the work split and all that. I'm just going to literally leave it as it is. It's a little bit tatty on the edges, but we'll get away with it. So I'll show you in the bike now. So the rims are very tinted at the moment, so we'll get a new set of rims on there. They're very marked. The forks are marked, but they have been rebuilt. So we're going to leave the forks and we just clean them up, and time everything else is clean around them. The engine. You can see that the carburettor looks pretty much brand new there. Reason being is I've already had it off and cleaned it all out, like I said before. I've had the bike going because I wanted to make sure that all the gears were working and not spinning and crunching and that. I'm not sure if the tailpipe's a depth pipe, but we'll have a look at that after. Might have a look for a nice tailpipe. This is the depth sport pipe. You can't get hold of these anymore, so we'll blast this and have a look. It's probably a couple of dents in there, so we'll get them dents out and we'll clean all that up. So the frame is pretty much well used, so we'll get all that cleaned up. Yeah, so that's what we got. So I'll strip it all down and go from there. And I'm not sure what kind of graphics I'm going to put on it. I'm going to still look into it and make sure that it is who he thinks it is. So once I know for sure that it is his, I will let you know whose bike it is. I'm not going to say it's someone's ex-rider's bike when it's not. So I want to clarify on that. Okay, so there we go. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel because you'll see more rebuilds on there. There's a Husqvarna on there and the KX500's on there. And yeah, give us a thumbs up for the video and thanks for watching. Cheers guys.